All right, guys, welcome to Traversal ENT. I'm back with another one. Guys, straight off the bat, let me tell you something, yeah? The Showtime execs, they are stressed. They're sweating right now. AB has got them sweating right now. Let me tell you what's going on, guys. So you got the Showtime execs. I'm talking guys like Stephen Espinosa and the rest of them, right? They are worried about what they're gonna do with Adrien Broner. Now, in case you didn't know, Adrien Broner's got a fight coming up on February the 13th, right? The guy he's supposed to fight, his name is Pedro Campa. Pedro Campa has pulled out of the fight because someone in his camp has got COVID-19. And as a result, he's pulled out of the fight. This is very, very last minute, guys. Well, he's got what, 4 weeks. He's kind of left Broner like last minute. So now, why is this stress Showtime so much? In case you didn't know, Showtime are being ultra cautious with Adrien Broner, guys. Ultra cautious. Let me tell you the mindset. Let me tell you what they're thinking, right? Now, I've seen some analogies given online with the articles, and I don't particularly like them, so I'm going to give you my own analogy, right? You lot ever played dominoes before? You know, dominoes? Sometimes you see kids and they get these domino pieces, adults included, and they want to stack them up and stand up these domino pieces, right? To make some sort of a trail. Then what you do is you knock down one domino piece, and what does it do? It causes a chain reaction. They all start falling down, right? That is exactly how Showtime execs are trying to handle Adrien Broner's return, guys. Because Adrien Broner at this current moment, he is fragile as far as Showtime's concerned. As far as everyone's concerned, he's a fragile individual. What do they mean by that? In other words, you have to be ultra careful and cautious who you match him in the ring with. Yeah? Adrien Broner cannot come back in the ring with someone who is too busy, someone who is excessively pressure in terms of his pressure fighting style. They can't match Adrien Broner with people like that. They want to put him in there with someone that they can guarantee Broner will get the victory, guys. That's what's causing them stress because being as Pedro's pulled out, you know why they chose Pedro Campa, guys? Should I tell you why they chose Pedro Campa? There's a good reason why they picked him. The reason they picked Pedro Campa is because Pedro Campa, according to the articles, his record is inflated. He's only ever fought the lowest levels of opposition you could possibly give someone in boxing. This is not my words. This is what articles on the internet have put down there. Okay, when they made the Pedro Campa fight with Broner, they thought, are people going to watch this fight? Because they understand that no one knows Campa, right? So they were worried that people are going to watch this fight. But because they knew Broner was win that fight, they thought, let's just do it anyway. We're taking a risk because they might not want to see it like that. They might not want to really reintroduce Broner like that. But we need to be so careful with him. We can't take the risk. But now, there's another thing that's got them stressed now. Now that Campa's pulled out because of the whole COVID thing, the guys that they got in store that can potentially fight Adrien Broner is really making Showtime execs sweat. Remember the criteria, guys. You cannot be a pressure fighter and you cannot be a high volume puncher, right? So they're looking at guys who do not possess these two things and who do not have high punching power. So that way they can assure Broner a great victory and give him confidence and also make it look good for the TV, right? So the first guy they got and the best guy they got is Regis Prograis. But he is giving Showtime worry as well because they're looking at Prograis and they're saying Prograis came from a really good, he had a really good fight. He destroyed Juan Heraldez in a third round knockout. That was October last year. They're not sure about putting him in there with Broner. They're thinking of all the names we've got, he will give Broner the most problems. It could be a disaster return. And let me tell you something. Showtime they want to tread carefully with AB. Why? Because they are shocked. That's right. They are shocked that Adrien Broner's name still carries weight in boxing. Listen, listen. Listen. I know Broner's got clout and I know Broner's name holds weight, but when you think of all the stuff Broner's done, it's surprising and it is a bit shocking that his name still holds weight, but it does, especially in the 140 division, guys. Now, what their worry is that Broner doesn't have power 147. I beg to slightly differ. I don't think that's Broner's problem. We all know about not letting his hands go. That we all know. Let's not talk about the elephant in the room that we all know about, right? The power situation is simply because he's timid And because he's timid to let his hands go, he can't really sit on his punch, can he? Because remember when he fought Marcus Maidana, what did Maidana say about Broner? He said Broner was the hardest person to have to fight in terms of power. He hit him the hardest. Broner's shots hurt Maidana, right? That's what Maidana said. But Showtime are not buying none of that. They're thinking Broner ain't got power 147, guys. So they're thinking, okay, Pro Graves, excellent fight. We'll bring in the crowd. We can make some money from that fight, but they're worried about it. Now, what they want to do is bring in Broner against someone that Broner's going to beat so that maybe 2 fights in, they can match Broner in a big, big, big blockbuster fight, pay-per-view fight. Because Broner will be able to generate that kind of money fighting a big name. Make no mistake about it. But before they can get there, they need to make sure they route him nicely into that. Problem is, Broner is so fragile, he's got Showtime sweating. So the next guys they got are a bunch of guys I've never heard of. They all been listed on this list because they're easy fights for Broner, but they all pose similar problems. Ivan Redkach, do you know him? 23 fights. 23 fights. He's got 5 losses, 1 draw, 18 KOs. This would be a fan-friendly fight. It would make for a fan-friendly fight because the guy isn't a big puncher, but there is a problem. He is a volume puncher. He throws far too many shots. It's got Showtime worried. They're not sure whether to put him in there, right? They are worried. Bear in mind, it's a 10-round fight. If this guy outpoints Broner, it's a disaster for Showtime. Because remember, Showtime can still squeeze some juice out of Broner in terms of revenue, guys. So they got to tread carefully. So what do? They're trying to balance greed with caution at the same time. It's a bit messy. Then they got Subriel Mateas. Subriel Mateas, again, he's got a style that'll please the public because he's a come forward guy, very easy guy to hit. But the problem with him, his work rate again is far too high, which they say Showtime are considering him to be an unsuitable opponent for Broner, though they got him on the list as potential opponents. Then there's a Lewis Ritson, same problem. He's too come forward, too much pressure. He doesn't throw so many shots, but too much pressure that might mentally block Broner, disturb Broner, and cause a disaster. So Broner's got Showtime sweating, guys. They don't know what to do with him now. So, guys, you know what? Why don't you guys give suggestions as to who Broner should fight? Let me know in the comment section down below. If you're Showtime, if you're Steven Espinosa and the rest of the executives, who do you put AB in there with come February? Bear in mind, he ain't got long. So you can't give him someone that's tricky, because he's only got about 4 weeks of training now for this tricky person. Yeah? And bear in mind, most of Broner's training camp, make no mistake about it, was spent cutting weight. This is the problem when you balloon up. You spend the majority of your training camp not techniquing, learning technique and strategy, game planning. You spend most of it cutting weight. Cutting weight. So, guys, let me know who you lot think AB should be put in there with. Let me know who you think Showtime should match him in there with come February the 13th. Comment down below with your answers, guys. I'll be reading all the comments. Traversal ENT signing out. Make sure you like and subscribe.